Hi there. This is going to be a weird one. I've noticed recently that different YouTubers are going to. Oh, sorry about the. Just messing around with it. I've noticed some of the YouTubers are going into this Clubhouse, right? So I said, okay, let me poke my nose in it, right? So I did, and I found something weird, and that is that people are opening multiple rooms and reflecting that they are there in multiple rooms. I don't know why the fuck somebody will go into a room and then need to go into several rooms at the same time, right? Is that a way of saying I'm everywhere type of thing? Right. So in this case, I'm targeting our usual plonker, Darth Dawkins, right? And I can see this guy John Lee, idiot, right? Anyway, so Jack Einstrick, right? So I wanted to find out how many rooms he's in, right? And his ear, a fake face, his ear as well. Oh, he just went. Okay, his ear. Atheism, find a cure. Atheism worldwide built on lies, bullshit. But anyway, lack of belief. Well, this Tom Block is also here. I wonder if he knows it. This is being recorded live. What you're seeing is actually what's happening right now. All right, Tom Block, three rooms. Tom Block, 4 rooms, 5 rooms, 2, 3, so 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5. I've seen this guy several times as well. J Robin a couple of times. They are here as well. I got a 7, 6 or 7. Many cannot answer simple question. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The 13 or what the fuck? They got like clickbait titles. So let me go into Jack Einstrick's thingy and ask him why. Why, if he knows. If he doesn't know, he doesn't know. Sure. There you are. I downloaded that image from Sydney Winston, right? And Jack has taken it over. That's funny. There you are. Okay. Am I inside the room? So I'm inside the room and nobody's there. Okay. Okay. Yes, I want to leave that room. Where can we join? Let me see if I can do it on my channel. Let me see. My channel. And create the text box. Let me see if I can pop out chat. Right, okay. Pop out chat. I don't want to hear myself, so I'm gonna go. Hold on. Right. Okay, so I've got my chat, and I'm going to put it underneath myself, basically. So I'm going to do this on the fly. So I'm going to add a window capture. It's going to be called the chat room. Yes, that's the one. Chat room. Okay, there you are. That's the chat room there, right? So now I need to put this onto one side. There you are. And resize this up here, and right. Let me put it next to each other like that. Go down, and then yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, fine. It's fine. Whatever. Right. So that would be the sort of layout. I know if somebody says something, I would notice. Oh, I can make it shorter. Make it shorter. Yeah, I can make it. Right. Okay. Cool. Right. So let's see. What can I find? Shall we piss him off? Shall we piss him off? Shall we piss him off? Find a cure. Straight into the wolf. Lack of belief, atheism is a joke. Your mother's a joke. Okay, let me see this. Let me see this. Okay. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. Join. Atheists are afraid of God. Really? Okay. Really? Really? Oh, this is the silly bollocks that was with Darth Dawkins in one of the channels, in one of the Tom Rabbit's video. I remember the icon. Right, right. Don't interrupt the lady, you stupid prick. I shifted. Right. No, it's not. No. Archaeology of what? This is a nutcase. Right, right, right. None. Right. So. Bullshit. Yeah, what? Right, right, right. Oh, New York, Spider-Man exists. What an idiot. Circular argument. What a prick. Don't overtalk me. Oh, that was a Darth Dawkins bullshit. Minium. Ooh, fucking rude. You're rude to a lady. Oh, Darth Dawkins came into the house. Darth Dawkins is in the house. He's gonna take over. The bitch is gonna take over. Bullshit. Hi, Nisa. Welcome to the channel, yeah? I'm just poking my nose. See? No, it's appeal to your bullshitology. Let's see who identifies me. What? You see, another thing is that Darth Dawkins got moderation in almost all the channels that he goes to, so he can control the person by booting him or whatever. Oh, you can only hear me. My apologies. This is the first time, so sorry. Oh, I know why. I know why. Shit. I know why. Sorry. Hold on. Let me shit. I know why. It's because the audio I have not commanded it through Clubhouse. Hold on. I'll fix it right away. I know what it is. Clubhouse. Properties. Windows 10. Why? Here. Advanced properties. Which one is this one? Clubhouse. What's that? You see? It's a fucking coward. Filters, properties. Shit, I'll fix it. Promise, I'll fix it. Right, thank you. I apologize. I did not know that I'm not broadcasting audio, but you can hear it from. Oh, you can't, can you? You can't. I feel like a right sod, but let me fix it. Yeah, right. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. I cannot see Clubhouse as audio. Microphone, desktop, logo, audio. Shit. Bloody hell. We can see the Clubhouse chat. Yes. I think it's just share. Hold on.
Answers. Then they try to make me look.
That is my desktop audio. That's what it was. Now you should be able to hear it.
Yeah.
Right? Can you confirm?
You're a big meanie, he says.
Yeah, you lack love and warmth. I was completely matter of fact. right?
You should be able to
I
hear
think
it,
that's
right?
how most of these,
Because I can see my
a lot
desktop
of them
audio going
anyway,
up and down.
they're looking for someone who's not going to challenge them or push back. They're
Bingo, touche. Thank you.
A bull looking to
I need a confirmation.
bully a Christian and expect them to just bow out and
Right.
take the verbal
So
abuse.
now it's time to enjoy what
That
this
guy-
idiot is saying to the rest of the world. So again, my sincere apologize for
I don't want to
the
say
mishap. It's the
unique
first
about
time,
him.
right?
He's
So,
one of the few kinds of atheists who,
but at least we can hear him live. That's the
has
beauty of
this
it.
aura that they're kind of like a radio announcer, right? And that they're here to be intellectual, but he just showed. I have had
By the way,
14
I tried to
and 15-year-olds on
put
Discord
look
give
out for number
more
1,
cogent
but
responses
the
than this guy
Clubhouse
gave.
did not allow me to put that as a two separate names
Complete
because they're
ineptitude.
saying that look out for number 1. It doesn't recognize it as a name, so I had to put Lord of Thunder, which is another of my YouTube channels, but I don't use it. So this is the closest one I could get.
Total train wreck.
Total train wreck.
So you ask Contact a question. Okay. Does not having a belief in God meaning you deny the existence of God? And that's
The
the
problem
reason why you
that
don't have a
Darth Dawkins
belief?
is saying
Or you
is
just
the
have an
negation.
absence of belief
He's
in
basically
God,
shifting the burden
which
of
doesn't,
proof, which is a
entail the
cheap
denial
way
of
of.
God. Simple question. Is that a hard question, Redefine?
No, that's a simple question.
Yeah.
And if that's if that's a position that he's going to hold, he should be able to answer that question.
We should start a room called Ask an Atheist equals throw me softball questions.
I was going to open a room
Or else you're a meanie.
saying Darth Dawkins
Throw me
a coward by design.
Throw me softball
Yeah, I was
questions.
tempted.
Ask an atheist softball questions.
Because I cannot join in as a
That last girl,
because
Joy,
he would boot out everybody. He's a coward by
deny a literal Jesus ever existed. She said there's not
Yeah,
enough
this is completely patently absurd. Mythicism is a clown show. Okay. Even Bart Ehrman, who is a critic of the Bible, he's a New Testament scholar. Okay. No, you see, the mythicists take Jesus Christ so seriously.
He's got several rooms,
they want to
right?
even engage
Look,
in
I'm gonna show it to you. It's got several rooms. That's what I was trying to pinpoint before.
Yeah, I felt like maybe I should have just
right. He's atheist, afraid of God. He's on atheist, find a cure.
Scholarly,
a worldwide view built online. Tom Locke is well there.
Not that consensus is determinative.
What are that?
But
Tom Locke.
There's broad.
There you are. Another one. Agnosticism and atheism are silly beliefs.
To the historicity of Jesus. Does that mean that there's
another one as well?
Means that
atheism and rationality do not mix.
Self-identity claims? Well, surely not. But this mythicism, if you look at the kinds of people that promote mythicism, it tells you all. Richard Carrier.
He's washing the plates. One of those two idiots are washing the plates.
On the YouTube channel, one of the more regular mythicists.
I think he's washing his mother's plates.
The guy who I call Dumb Derek from. He calls it Myth Vision.
If he finds out that I'm streaming live, it would be fucking funny.
Yeah, I've not made myself familiar with any of that. I suppose I should, just to kind of listen to what the nonsense they're talking about. But it's really hard to dismiss the year 2021. I mean, some significant event in the past, made that happen. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Interesting people.
Yeah, for sure. Well, run out of bullshit?
Well, if anyone would like to raise your hand and want to come up and have an adult conversation, you're welcome to do so.
Adult.
We tried.
You remember one of my clips that he's saying that he's a teenager. He has not recognized my handle yet. How many people? He's eager. He's eager to call people. I'm just waiting for him to identify me to boot me out. That's not my goal, but let's see how switched on he is. Right.
Yeah, we definitely got to start a room. Ask an atheist softball, easy questions.
It just starts for the sake of it.
Oh, I don't believe in God because of my life experiences. So what? What does that mean?
He's actually bored. He's trying to make shit as he goes.
No.
Specializes in bullshit. Yeah, that's it. What teenage
right,
mentality.
We'll give it another try. Okay, so when you define atheism,
who is he talking to now?
Contact. We're waiting. Oh, he left.
See? He doesn't see me as a threat yet. Not that I want to be a threat. He
raises his hand and then he says he can't join.
Let's see. Oh, we are so afraid. So afraid. Right? It's just because he's got fucking the finger on the red button. That's it. That's his only power.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so funny.
Ask an Atheist is from the Healthy Debates Club, right? Ask an Atheist. What a joke. These people are such a disaster.
I wonder, because we're getting close to Christmas time, if we're going to find these people starting to identify as anti-Santa Claus and go and start refuting that. Or is it just cognitive dissonance when they identify as someone who doesn't believe in God? Do they do that in all other areas of their life? Would they spend their time refuting?
Well, let's see this guy, James Gray, how much abuse he's going to get.
Reasoning is convoluted, even for the professional atheist. It's laughable.
Right.
Go ahead, James.
Speaking of Santa Claus, have you guys seen the? It was an advertisement. I think Sweden did, or Finland, one of those countries, about their post office. Anyway, in the ad, Santa's gay.
So what?
And how could you tell?
Oh, easily. He was kissing another man.
Oh, okay. So this is just, you know what, these people, they all lied. Okay, in the 1970s, before a lot of you people were born, they absolutely lied.
Actually, you know what?
We just want to be left one.
I'm gonna. In the next figure, I'm gonna put.
Now,
I'm gonna put a timer, a count up timer to see how long it takes, and I click it on the live view.
On all venues.
Yeah, you're right there.
The public square, government, entertainment, academia, right? Literature, and they're demanding inch by inch. They're demanding that we,
as long as he doesn't touch atheism or religion, he's on the safe area.
You're going to face varying levels of persecution, right?
So, Darth, look it up, please, and just watch it, because it's.
I listen. To be honest with you, I'm not fearful of homosexuals, but I find it revolting, the idea of some dude kissing another dude.
Yeah,
right.
It's just, why use Santa?
Because these people are perverts. What they have an agenda, okay, to get a minority position, to force people to accept it, right? And this is a very precarious sign.
I'm gonna try to do it on a fly, right? As we are listening to this guy, I'm gonna try search for a timer, online timer, and then see if I can put it onto the chat, onto the top or something like that. Yeah, see if I can manipulate it. Just to put a little bit spice on the thing.
Down our throat, pun intended. The normativity of this, and if you don't agree. If you don't put that little pinch of salt, like they did in Roman times, then you're going to be persecuted, ostracized.
Well, they're looking for more than just equality. They don't want equality. That's not good enough. I mean, we can't have straight
wait a minute.
parades.
How are they not equal if you're citizens?
Right.
Okay.
I found it.
What they want to do is
hold on. I will find it. Hold on. I got it already. Hold on. Let me do my magic.
Let's say
hold on. Add. I'm going on the fly. Yeah.
They want to shut
window
down
capture. It's a window. Yeah, it is a window capture.
Where's the tolerance? Where's the equality?
Let me call this clock.
It's a joke.
Yeah. Meanwhile, that guy's making hand over fist. Everybody loves Chick-fil-A.
Okay, so if anybody wants to come up, you can raise your hand, and you're free to come up.
Doesn't seem to trigger.
But that guy, what's his name? Was it Steve Appel? Was that his name?
No, it doesn't seem to catch it.
Yeah, his name was Steve Appel. I mean, Mr. Radio Announcer Voice Steve Appel. What a blowhard. So God does not exist? Well, God doesn't exist. I believe
no, it doesn't work. So I'm going to excuse me. I'm going to use another timer.
And for those of you out there, I'm quoting him verbatim. This is what this clown said.
There you are.
You know, he said,
there you are. There you are.
Atheism has changed. No, it hasn't.
There you are.
It absolutely has not.
Right.
Okay. It's only that certain internet atheists.
Timer one. Yeah. So you can see it. Yeah.
That atheism be codified as.
I've used this timer before, so I'm familiar on how to use it. Oops. Where'd you go?
Okay.
Where'd you go?
What they're trying to do is.
Where'd you go?
They're trying to take atheism. They're trying to rob it of its proposition.
Come on, where'd you go?
Right, about whether God exists or not.
Sorry.
Atheism into non-theism, right? You know, and listen. Just call yourself. Say I'm a non-theist. Just say I'm an agnostic, right? But they're picking the word atheist because they know what it means in the widespread English language. They know it means the denial of God.
My apologies.
But then they want to say, "Oh well, it's not the denial of God." You know, we're not saying we know there is no God, right?
Yeah.
It's so pathetic listening to these people.
Cancel this. Clear again. There you are. Okay, I got it. I don't know what I did. So timer 1.
Well, nobody has any questions.
So it has to be.
We have 9 people in the audience. Nobody has any questions.
No, it's not timer. It's countdown. No, not timer.
Did you hear the debate between Craig and James White?
I've only listened to about half of it. And
count up. There you are. That, count up.
Craig was much more convincing.
Yeah, I'm not a Calvinist by far, but I thought James White did.
Yeah, I can put it up here. I can put it up there. Or here, the corner.
But Craig.
I can put it in the corner.
Well,
right.
Yeah,
so
that's the standard.
Let me lock it. Right now it's locked there. Now, for example, I can click on it and it starts going up. Yeah, right. It starts. Yep, that's fine. It's working. So.
And you can't dare pull the Greek card. Okay.
Yeah. And then I can stop it. Oh, sure. Not stop it. So I have to pause it. Right? So if I pause it.
Yeah, William Lane Craig has
that will tell us
PhDs.
visually the time that he or she got booted. Right. So stop it. It resets it. Right. Okay.
Philosophy. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Timer 1.
And,
no. I'm going to change it. Not timer 1. It's going to be Darth. Sentencing.
Well, James White is adept at Islam as well, but Craig is a mixed bag. There are certain things I like about him, and other things I don't. You know, he believes in evolution.
Oops.
He ridicules young Earth creationism.
Darth sentencing.
Physical presuppositionalism.
Right. Okay. Sorted. So I got my little thing.
He's not being. I
need to identify where do I have my timer. I know that I've got the timer.
He soured me a bit when he talked about his position on Genesis and literal Adam.
Oh, that's a train wreck. He calls it
open file location.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. He you know
Copy.
What? Look, I have most of his books. I plan on reading more of his books.
Paste.
Because he's a really smart guy. I've learned a lot from him already. but that is jumping the shark, you know.
Wicked.
Well, he
Wicked.
wants to believe that the Earth and the universe is old, right? He wants to
So
believe that.
let's see.
Well, I think it's just extremely inconsistent when these people will appeal to the scientific consensus for one thing, but then they'll hold to a virgin birth and a resurrection and these other things. And
No, we don't hold
who
to
gets
that.
to pick when you
Nobody in the scientific method or
it's either
scientific
you're gonna
will say
defend the
that
Bible,
we go with
or you're gonna
a
defend
virgin
not the
that
Bible.
was fucked by
I
God
heard him defending
without any
evolution by
sperm. Are you
making an appeal
freaking
to
kidding
what are
me?
called pseudogenes. Right.
Pseudogenes,
And
pseudo
so,
bullshit. That's
you know,
what
I
it's
did my
called.
own research on it. I went to Answers in Genesis and creation.com and started reading articles by people who had PhDs in biology. All right. And what they turn out to be pseudogenes are not pseudogenes. Okay. They very well could just simply be genes that become inactive or turned off. Right.
Yeah, like
Same thing.
epigenetics.
Same thing with endogenous retroviruses.
Right.
They're so-called endogenous retroviruses, so-called pseudogenes. Welcome to the stage, John. What would you like to say?
John.
I would say I would agree with what you're saying. I think in the context of pseudogenes, for example, there was a paper published in Nature this past year.
I have to
not from a
only
Christian
put the timer
researcher,
when
talking about how
Darth acknowledged
pseudogenes
that
need
he's
to
an
stop being
atheist,
called
right? That's
and
the
in
trigger
line with
time.
the points you were making there. And I think a lot of folks like the William Lane Craigs and such. Like, I think on one side, and this is where I think atheists oftentimes go wrong. They think that if
he's a Christian.
we don't necessarily agree 100% of something, that therefore all of it must be wrong. And like William Lane Craig, for example, I agree with you on his stuff on abortion, or not abortion, evolution and age of the earth and all that kind of stuff. I think he's off and he's just appealing to consensus. But a lot of his stuff, and from a philosophical perspective, I agree with completely. I mean, I've read several of his books, and it's like, man,
so two people have to come in the team,
and the vast majority of the atheists
or something like
who
that.
claim his arguments have been debunked never have actually either read his papers or read his books.
But remember,
Darth realized that he's already accounted for the vast
confrontation,
majority of the talking points.
Because otherwise he would become irrelevant. Because now, for example, this John, that he thinks he knows what he's fucking talking about. It's just sugarcoating the Christianity,
Christian
basically.
Influencers seem to be compromising these days and like just being willing to acquiesce.
Well, people are intimidated by the consensus, especially when they haven't taken the time to do some, research into it. Okay.
Well, I agree they're intimidated by the consensus, but the question I would have is, if you have a modicum of understanding and knowledge of history, you would not be afraid of not being a part of the consensus, given the fact the consensus has a very strong proclivity for being proven to be wrong.
Look, if William Lane Craig were to come out and espouse young Earth creationism, that would cause him to lose a lot of street cred. Among the secular types. Okay? Because you know how the young Earth creationist advocates are scorned and ridiculed.
Yeah, but you are a young Earth creationist. You're a hypocrite sod.
Oh, I definitely would agree that there's a...
You believe in the Trinity. That means you believe in a God made the Earth in fucking 6 days. The whole thing in 6 days.
If you are viewing your existence from the eternal perspective, what I may lose in the short term is nothing from the eternal perspective. And I often wonder why so many people are willing to just kowtow and acquiesce when it's like, okay, so is your worldview one that you are ultimately eternal? Because if so, then a lot of the stuff that we're observing on the planet right now, just the pressure and the putback, it's like I'm operating from the perspective that in the very near future, even here in the United States, my stance on belief in God, let alone OEC, young EC, gap, all that stuff will be relatively
new age creation or old age creation
in relation to what we face in relation to belief in God itself.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the room, Tiffany. Would you like to say something?
Let's see. Let's start
Well, if you don't speak, we'll move you back to the audience, okay?
That's you, Tiffany.
Earth to Tiffany. Okay, unless you speak, I'm going to move you back to the audience. You know, maybe we might want to contribute. Tiffany's fallen on hard financial times. She barely
What the
has
fuck?
pieces of cloth to cover her body.
Really? Sexist, racist motherfucker.
So, Darth, out of curiosity, are you finding
So the
Clubhouse
woman's got some sort of cleavage,
worth your while
and
than
he's
Discord,
fucking.
or is
Oh,
Discord
what the
still,
fuck? What
I
a piece
still
of
have
shit
Discord on
human.
my computer. It's just that you know, I quit politics and religion because he wouldn't stop an individual who was constantly trolling and harassing, which he agreed to do when he broke his
What
promise.
a fucking piece of shit.
He did it for others, but not for this one. I said, okay, fine, then I'll just
She
leave.
might have done it by error.
I told him, I said, your place will turn into an atheist ghetto, which it pretty much
don't
has.
Don't insult the lady. Okay. You fucking scumbag.
Yeah, I've never really been able to get into Discord much. Every time I've ventured into it, I feel like I'm in a complete degenerate hellhole, and there's like not much. I've listened to some of your
trolling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've seen some of your. I watched some of the streams that are like, you know, on YouTube, like streaming the Discords you've been on and such. And I listen to it, and I'm like,
surprise, surprise, motherfucker!
And people wonder why Darth flips out on, goes off on atheists. It's like,
well,
this
these
is
clips
why.
are
These
clips are always frequently without context. Okay,
without context.
The whole Tom
without context.
His persona, he gets great satisfaction and enjoyment to facilitate and foment conflict and drama.
He has not fomented any conflict. He just put on the air
when he posted some
the fucking things that you do.
He got views. So he found out this is basically without my content, he's going to have very little people coming to his channel. So he has to steal my content, and
he's not stealing your content.
Edits my content only where there's fireworks. The vast majority of interactions, discussions, debates that I have that are cordial, adult, and don't end in fireworks, he doesn't upload. Right? And he loves the obscene and vile and vicious comments that are in the comment section when he posts videos. He doesn't edit those at all. Oh, I take that back though. No, if you make certain positive statements about me, he will edit that out. Okay,
no, I'm not editing nothing. It's fucking live.
Deleted their comments.
No, right? You cannot beat live.
It's all about. Here we have a grown man who's got nothing better to do.
Grown man. He's talking about fucking grown man, the teenage fucking mentality guy.
35, 40 years old, secretly recording and then giving clickbait titles. You know, it's just like, really?
That's what you're doing and you go and fucking see it. How the fuck do you know?
I thought his name was Tom Rabbit.
No, the username is Tom Rabbit. If anyone would like to raise your hand and come up, you're more than welcome to. Okay?
You see, he's getting bored from the religious
minions. If you'd like to contribute
minions.
to the clothes fund of Tiffany, so she can afford to have some clothes where she doesn't get a cold. You know,
again,
when it's chilly out. We'll contribute to that.
Oh, I want to come in, but as soon as I go in, he will identify me, and I'm going to call him out.
Throw me some softballs, dude. It's all they want are softball questions. You didn't hear it, but I was in a room with an Ask an Atheist guy who, you know, kind of comes across like he thinks he's a radio announcer. And when I asked him,
I heard some.
I said, why don't you believe in God? Well, because of my life experiences. And I said, well, that's not informative. Right?
To you?
And he refused to get any more specific or clear as to what that even means. Well, the answer is because he's completely inept and incompetent of making a rational case for his God denialism.
You see, denialism.
In line with that, Darth, yesterday,
he can only say that.
To him, and he was going on a tirade about how
lame fucker.
If we eliminated religion, the usual talking point, right? If we eliminate religion, people will become self-responsible and, you know, take better care of, you know, friends and family and all this other kind of stuff. We just have to erase religion from the equation. And I'm sort of listening to
the guy has the mind of a teenager. That's a completely imbecilic statement.
I teenager.
But when I was listening to him,
that's fucking funny.
That position
coming from you,
and
bitch.
His position was, if you believe God exists, that you, by definition, will not take personal responsibility because you offload all responsibility and accountability to God. And I'm
Wow,
like,
bitch.
where in the heck? How do you come up with
this
that
is
conclusion? That's the
see,
antithesis.
this just blows my mind. The cockamamie stuff that comes out of their mouth, that it's laughable.
Yes.
You wouldn't
It's
even
called
expect this out of a
projection.
13-year-old. This is how dumb that is. Okay.
When I heard that, I was like, that is the not just kind of off base, like that is the direct antithesis of the vast majority. I'm not saying there aren't outliers that think that way, but that's the antithesis of the vast majority of people who are like actually followers of God, right? Like we're not.
Well, let's take a look.
Am I
Let's
ultimately
take a look.
accountable to God? Yes. Do I offload my responsibility?
Yeah.
No. God has made me, because I recognize that I'm accountable to God, therefore I must take responsibility for my actions. Like this is, I don't know. Anyway.
Look,
Yeah, that's right.
Did the people who amassed complete power in the 20th century, who did not believe in God, they did what they did with such cruelty and heartlessness, killing and destroying people's lives on unfathomable levels that are just almost inconceivable. Precisely because they didn't think that they were accountable to God, or God was looking over their shoulders.
Yeah, but
and
never
they were
mind
going to be held
his
accountable when
God
they died.
allegedly wiping out the
So don't
whole
give me this
fucking
bull
planet
crap
minus 8 people.
Okay?
He's not even thinking about the big picture. Yeah, only us, the atheists, we were the bad people. Really?
Speechless with the utter stupidity of the things that atheists say. Not so much that I just disagree, but they're just colossally stupid. And you know what it is? Many of them are not really well exposed to vigorous intellectual polemics against their position. They're just not familiar with it.
Says who?
Well,
says you?
Because they'll just kick you right out of the room or mute you.
Yeah, and look how fast he wanted to get rid of me.
Oh, look how fast he nearly fucking.
You've asked me over 10 questions, and then he just wanted to move on to somebody else. It's because I was exposing the utter bankruptcy of his position.
No.
And because he didn't want to be accountable, nor did he want to give a defense that his position wasn't bankruptcy. So let's just impugn Dart. Let's just somebody come in and white knight for me, which he did for himself, which he allowed. You know, where is the
he
love?
has to be the center
there was nothing unloving or
of
unwarm
everything
about what I did. It's
right?
just a straightforward
He has to be the
fucking that I didn't take your.
He has to be his own
dumb,
fucking God.
Ambiguous answers. Like I'm some dumb clock drinking the Kool-Aid. This guy has some nerve doing a room called Ask an Atheist. Well, I answer your question. Yeah, you just told me you don't believe in God because of your life experience. What does that even mean?
But Darth, he puts an echo on his microphone, so whatever he says has greater credibility. Come on now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about the amount of people that have
these people aren't to be taken seriously?
Right, the so-called witches.
Well,
they just want to deal with low-hanging fruit.
Well, that's true. I don't know if you heard him.
You're the expert now.
Talking, I think it was this morning. I heard him ranting about how if you look at the more atheistic societies right now, people are better off, they're happier, more educated, better income, yada yada, and that religious countries are worse.
I've got my own house.
Like, okay,
he lives in his mother's basement.
For one
Case in
moment.
point, bitch.
What civilization is recognized as the single greatest country of wealth, opportunity, freedom, and success? Oh wait, that would be the United States. I don't. While we're heading, and the ultimate irony for me on this is, as the United States is
are the fucking invaders.
In the direction of a less religious,
you occupy the North,
the
North America. What are you talking about? You're talking out of your ass.
And it's except the faster we're adopting the principles that are espoused by the atheists, the faster our collapses taking place.
Yeah, and look at what's going on now in the inner cities. The atheistic types, the leftists, the Democratic Party, they're cruelly punishing people who don't wear masks. Yet somebody goes and lights a Christmas tree on fire, and then they let him go. You know, the guy who ran people over, they let him go, and then he went out later on to run people down with a car. You know the no bail reform that's going on in New York and California and all that kind of stuff. Insofar as the atheistic countries, you know, in Europe, yeah, this is historical ineptness. Okay, not that I'm a historical genius, far from it. But the fact of the matter is, all of these countries used to be staunchly Christian. Okay, not that everyone was genuinely a Christian, but they had a strong belief in Christian doctrines, right?
Yeah,
through many
faith
of
is
these
personal,
countries.
but it's meaningless because it's believing in something without any good reason.
Yeah,
it's just, oh yeah, okay, I believe you, but just because
of Christianity,
not even by using critical thinking.
Short time ago in their own history. So to sit there and say that the ethos that they have is from atheism is just historical revisionism. It's just garbage.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. And the irony is that we're also now watching the collapse of those atheist-dominated societies. Like, we're watching it in real time. Take forth our very eyes. And I don't know if you saw
You're
this.
You're watching this in real time, bitch.
Last week, the Austrian government authorized suicide pods. Like, you can literally go into like a pod from like a sci-fi movie and go commit suicide now. Which is like it's like almost hysterical, like laughable at this point. Like,
it's laughable,
we're operating in a society,
but it's not laughable when you were in the Middle Ages burning witches.
Can we get one of those suicide pods off of Amazon and ship it to Rosie O'Donnell?
See,
that would be your first choice. Would be Rosie.
Is there any other?
I don't know if Rosie. I don't know.
You mean wait a minute. Hold on a second. You mean there's somebody worse than Rosie O'Donnell?
What if we have a suicide pact between her and the girl from The View?
Which one?
The redhead from The View.
Joy Behar.
Joy Behar.
Well, here's the other.
Joy Behar. You know what's so funny? It just goes to show you.
Oh, the word I was looking for.
A pathetic comedian.
Misogynistic.
A political moron. You can be bat-guana crazy, and you'll get a political commenting position making millions of years. I mean, truth is stranger than fiction.
10% to the big guy.
I tell you what, I was joking with Redefine earlier that I honestly feel like over this past like 2 years, I have at some point we were transported into an alternate dimension, and we now live in like, I don't know if you guys like the
misogynistic
or like Superman comics, but remember the character Bizarro and like Bizarro World that every once in a while Superman would get transported over into, and everything's basically the opposite. Just like, I feel like I'm in opposite world now.
STDs. He's divorced for that.
Right is wrong. All those things, and it's like
that's like
apart from being misogynistic, for sure.
Which one? The other was a couple. You talk about the ones where they got had the teleporter accidents.
No, there was some type of metaphysical glitch, and Captain Kirk, and a couple of his crew members got transported into an alternate universe where the Enterprise, the Federation, was evil.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, they teleported.
And his counterpart was an evil Captain Kirk, but now he was on the Enterprise as the captain of the non-evil, Federation. Check it out. It's one of the original Star Trek episodes.
I've definitely seen those. They actually, I don't know if you. I read. I was a huge Star Trek fan as a kid. I actually read up until I was about 16 or 17. I read every single Star Trek book ever written, and there was a whole series about that based on those episodes. I mean, they were extrapolated out, and I think if I remember correctly, they even had a couple Next Generation episodes that followed the same.
You know what I wonder?
Concept,
why they haven't even queried the cross, inverted cross.
I
wonder that.
There was a line
Seriously,
in the
I wonder
original
that.
Star Trek movie where Spock was going to espouse his atheism, mocking God, and they cut it out of the script out of the final script for the movie.
Interesting. I knew he was an atheist. I didn't know about that. Them cutting out that scene. And I believe, if I remember correctly, no, he was an atheist and a globalist, as I recall. May have been a little bit of a eugenicist in some aspects as well, which is ironic given the fact they had like the first black-white on-screen kiss and all that kind of stuff. There was different progressive aspects they put forth, but
well, at least Uhura was good.
Yeah, no, it was like I said. I love.
By the way,
Star
that
Trek.
face is not his, right?
I love that show. I thought it was.
I don't know why he doesn't have an icon.
Everyone was. I thought the cast.
He's giving sort of like a person that can talk. You know what I mean? Like a spokesperson or something.
Pretty much all the series up until
all of the women on Star Trek were beautiful. All of them.
Oh my god!
Regardless of their ethnicity, their origin, they were all just beautiful.
Well, they managed to make some of the alien women look very stunning as well.
Yeah, regardless of ethnicity. Yeah, and he was a fucking racist cunt.
Looking back on it now, from the modern era, like if Star Trek was,
it's funny. It's talking about between two white guys.
Kirk would be branded as the most sexist, misogynistic leader.
No, if they did it all over again, they would make Kirk a fag. You know. All right, let's see. The name of the episode was, I think it's Mirror, Mirror.
Yeah, they would be adding those atheist lines now today.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think they do actually. I've kind of stopped watching the like all the series were all good up until Enterprise. Enterprise was okay, but then all the ones since have just been pretty. Like I've tried them out and tried to watch them, and then just like having a hard time getting into this. Like why? Like every episode is some kind of like, social justice issue, and it's like, dude, they're off in another freaking galaxy, and we're doing like social justice.
What's that? What's that sci-fi show with that guy Seth? What's his name?
Oh, Seth Rogen, oh man, I know what you're talking.
The Orville. I saw one episode of it, and it was pure atheist propaganda.
It was satire.
Yeah,
it was not real fucking. He doesn't fucking get it.
Seth MacFarlane is
yeah.
It was
a script. He's behind the Orville. It was pure an atheistic propaganda piece. I forget what the name of
it's a Star Trek satire.
Star Trek, the alternate universe is Mirror, Mirror. And it's a great Star Trek episode. I grew up on it. I never really cared for Star Trek: The Next Generation at all, or any of the other Star Trek spinoffs.
Yeah, Deep Space Nine was pretty good. I really liked The Next Generation, but that was the one I was a kid when it was on.
Well, you got to remember, I'm a bit older with you, so it's like it was. I don't know.
It's a superiority complex.
Never.
It's an
really
alpha dog type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I love the original series. Though. I mean, they were. I mean, the opening episode with the barrier, the galactic barrier, and all that kind of stuff was interesting. And they actually wrote a book later on that the power that Gary Mitchell, who was the guy that gets the powers.
And
anyway,
it reflects the advances.
Are you talking about
in the old days? Remember, they had the flip up radio thingy, right?
They actually wrote a book later on,
and now is
as a spin-off of that
touch
episode,
on the upper chest.
Powers that he gets when they run into
it changes. It fits to society, correct, or reflects, which is true.
That was he was actually got some of the Q powers as a result of running, and that was like the spin, like how they explained where the powers came from. It was kind of interesting.
I think that this was the first episode.
And the old man cannot follow progress. That's why he's stuck in his fucking Middle Ages brain, child brain.
Where no man has gone before.
Yeah, I think so. And it was actually they did there was actually a version of that was shot with Captain Pike, and also with James Kirk. It's kind of interesting. Oh, did we lose Darth?
He'll probably be back if he just cut out.
No, I didn't. He probably went to another room.
Well, I think we have, let's see, 1,
See, now.
2. We have at least 2 atheists. And who is this guy?
Oh, he's got mod powers. He's giving mod powers. I don't recall. Do I recall him not coming in without any mod powers?
Jacques is an expiring matador. Nice.
Let's see.
So I wonder if now that Darth has left, if any of the atheists still want to come in, because they might have a chance.
I'll have a chance.
That's true. Now's your chance, folks.
Yeah, I may do a stream. I'm thinking about doing a stream later. Last night was fun.
Yeah, I had to run to my church had a big event, and I signed up to tear it all down. So I was there for a while, and then I had to leave at about 9. And then I came back in right before you shut it down. It was pretty interesting.
Is he going for a piss?
Yeah, I don't even know what was going on with the.
Did he just went for a fucking piss?
I mean, there was good conversation, but it got
seriously.
Kind of weird there.
Seriously,
it's like, man, we have atheism on display where you can explain things like 17 different ways, and then you get. I think this
refined guy just went for a fucking piss.
Yeah, that's where we were at when I came back in. I mean, your shows bring out all kinds of unique individuals, you'll say.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That was fucking rude.
What I find
seriously,
is just the dogmatic regurgitation of the same.
Oh, by the way, I think Darth Dawkins went to another place because it was boring for him because it's only fears, and there's so much you can take about fucking fears
for long, pretty extended periods of time, and then sometimes it's just like.
And I don't know about this Clubhouse.
Be this dense. Like, really?
How you know somebody is being on the room, if you know what I mean.
Well, they watch Godless Engineer, and they learn that genetic code is like Diet Coke. It's just chemistry. But by the way, did you see the debate with Luca and Utangelo?
Don't remember.
Oh yeah, I watched.
Lucas like, well, we're talking about a chemistry experiment. You can do this experiment in your house, and then he explains the experiment, and they go, see, no intelligence needed. I'm like, you realize that you are the intelligent agent. You are the intelligent chemist putting those chemicals together, right?
Well, it's the same thing with the.
He's jumping between channels and channels.
I could totally write a program that could do that. I'm just like.
Yeah, an intelligent agent writes a program. How it's just beyond me how they don't catch it. He said that, and I just started laughing. I'm like, dude, how do you miss this?
It's truly astonishing. It's why you've heard me make the statement before. Like, are we living in the time of the grand delusion? Right? Yeah. Because I don't know how much more obvious some of this stuff can be, and then it's like. So, do you know about X? I have no idea. Okay, well, let me explain X to you. Do you know about Y? I have no idea. Okay, let me explain it to you.
What's this?
Do you know about Z?
Like a cone?
No, let me explain it to you. Do you understand how X, Y, and Z work together? I have no clue. Okay, let me explain it to you.
This thing.
And then...
I don't know what that is.
Get done with it, and it's like, okay, do you understand
Angela,
the point that's being
Ferrari, and this guy, John Maddox.
No, I don't understand.
What's the icon?
Okay. So all these other people understand it, but you can't grasp it. And what's the direct corollary between the majority of the people who can't seem to grasp this? Oh, you're atheists. I wonder if that's the cause of this. I know correlation is not equal causation, but seems to be a very, very, very interesting trend.
Well, their position forces them to be incredulous.
Right, she's gone now. The other
Because
one.
as soon as they
Oh no, it's here.
acknowledge
Whoops.
any sort
My
of
bad.
non-naturalistic cause, which they do hold, they just don't realize it. You have these forces that are not made of matter, these laws of nature that they appeal to, including the laws of chemistry and all of these things, which they can't account for, right? But them invoking these laws, it's bad. I mean, even Richard Dawkins, he acknowledged the possibility of aliens seeding life here, you know, in that we are intelligently designed, but by aliens that arose by
by
Darwinian
Darth
means.
Dawkins,
Now,
by
if their
Darth Dawkins
position was so
thing,
strong,
proved the negative.
then Dawkins, of all people, because he hates God so much, he would never allow
Really?
that. He'd say, "No, we don't need aliens. We know
You cannot hate what you don't think exists, or you don't believe it exists."
So, you know, there's huge problems with them. But again, like their position forces them to be incredulous and avoid the obvious.
Nah, that's a called projection again.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're just mirroring Darth Dawkins.
Well, the incredulity doesn't really justify their claim for open-mindedness, right? They claim to be open-minded free thinkers, and folks like us are the most narrow-minded, right?
Oh, definitely you are.
And I'm like, okay, let's think about
not
this.
just narrow-minded, but
I am
gullible.
totally open to the premise that I live in a virtual simulation.
Shut up.
However, I come to the conclusion that if I do live in a virtual simulation, there must be an intelligent agent external to it that causes it to exist, and formulated the
virtual
rules
god.
by which
is that what you're saying?
Simulation operates, right? Like, okay, that may be true. In relation to the age of the universe, right? Like, okay, if I am in a created environment operated by an external agent who created the rules that govern it, I totally accept the premise that the way I observe it currently is the way that it would be formulated if it was being created to have the simulation of being, you know, on this cosmic scale, right? Like, of course, there would be these different variables to account for, right? We do this in our video games all the time. Like, did you never play Civilization or any of those games? Like, at least I did. I mean, I did when I was a kid, and as a, you know, in a 2-month period while playing a game, I took my civilization from the, you know, supposed Stone Age to going off into the future and exploring space, right? So inside of the game environment, thousands and thousands of years went by. From my perspective, it was 2 months.
John, I think you got someone here. Brendan, welcome to the room. You're a linguistics teacher?
Yes, I specialize in just a bunch of variations of bullshit in the English language where people are essentially deviating away from.
Are you familiar? There was a study where they've taken some children. I forget the name of this one girl. Her parents chained her to a toilet for many years. At some point in a human's life, when they reach about the age of puberty or so, if they do not have a first language at that point, they can never get it. They're you know, when you talk to them, you might as well be talking to a monkey or something like that, because you can't teach them anything at that certain point.
Try Coco. It's more intelligent than you, bitch.
I mean,
sign language.
There is an issue where people need. I have to make the statement in the room that I'm actually not a professor of linguistics, but
oh, so you're like Professor Dave.
for today, I will be the professor of linguistics, just for the sake of this conversation. Well, I think what you are alluding to is, it makes sense, right? But like, we also can't discredit the fact that like people like Helen Keller existed, in which maybe there was communication through touch.
That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about specifically no communication. Okay, so if you were to take, you know, like what's the book, the Jungle Book, where a kid gets raised by, you know, a pack of wolves or whatever it might be, and have no language taught to them. We're talking about language, not necessarily communication in a sense, right?
What's that, Vartek?
There's a difference. Do you understand? There's a delineation between communication and language.
Sure.
Okay. So if there's not a language taught to these children by a certain age, and I believe it's around the age of puberty, then you'll never be able to teach them any language at all.
I mean, that there's really not much insight I can provide on that other than saying that probably makes sense, right? Like your brain develops at a certain point, and you're trying to teach somebody a very complicated idea of communicating with sounds, with literal words that sound like bullshit, really. Yeah.
Now let's see if we can get you to do a 180 flip flop. If that's the case, and it appears to be the case, then you would see the necessity of the first life having some sort of linguistics taught to them from the beginning.
What?
In other words, that disproves this idea that language can evolve.
Language has evolved, bitch.
Oh, 180?
Language has evolved.
It's tough to say. We can't say without any certainty that this is actually going to be
from
the case.
Latin. It came Spanish, Italian, probably some Portuguese.
We could have had a study in which
right? What are you talking about? You're talking shit.
Literally like newborn infants, and then raise them to be chained to a toilet and have a sample size of 100. He laughed. But yeah, we could do that. Or you could. There we go. I think your internet disconnected, but yeah, like I totally, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think it completely makes sense. It would just be an incredibly arduous task to try and prove this.
Almost on a daily basis.
Sample size that would be meaningful, right? Like, unless we have enough reports and that suggest that this is the case, where you cannot learn anything, cannot at all adapt.
Haven't we seen language develop?
Of course, but we're talking about the rare occasion where somebody is just absolutely fucked. Like, you're 12 years of age, you speak dog, or you know how to growl. You don't know the concept of yes and no, and please. Like, you're pretty much a bewildered person.
Yeah, but he would learn the language of the inhabitants, even if he had to fucking bark, right, or growl. That's a sign. That's a message.
So are you guys saying that Tarzan never could have actually learned English and therefore never would have gotten Jane? Is that what you're saying?
Probably, yeah. Probably.
But we've actually done this, though. There have been people that have been effectively raised feral and have been able to learn some things after they were brought back into humanity.
Fair enough. I need to Google this, right? Like, so people, let me Google it.
Brendan, you just looked like a fucking fool.
Feral, child raised by wolves. Yeah, child raised by wolves. It happened, I believe.
Well, did he run away?
I don't know. His internet probably just cut off. Yeah, no, I know the.
I believe the instances that are usually referred to in that context, they weren't found as adults or late teens. They're found. Yes, they might have been raised by animals or whatever, but they were found before that kind of cutoff point that Sam was referring to.
So what are you saying? You are limited to a specific point of view to suit your need. I don't.
Dominant.
You are talking out of your fucking ass.
Wavelengths of the brain and like the shift that's made.
You're trying to narrow it.
Like zero, or the dominant. I forget what it is, but the dominant wavelength between like 0 and 4 or 5, and then from 5 to
absolutely fucking
like
bollocks.
9,
absolutely bollocks. Talking out of your fucking ass.
The final shift. No, sorry. 0 to 4, 5 to 11 or 12, and then when you're hitting puberty, your dominant brainwave shifts to what ends up being the dominant one as an adult, and they've been able to observe like dramatic shifts in learning capabilities.
He got bored in another channel.
That's what Sam's referring to in relation to the having to account for the basics of linguistic function prior to that final shift. If it's been begun prior to, then even they don't have to be like fluent and whatnot. But if it's been started prior to the final shift, then they can learn. if it hasn't been, then it basically gets shut off and never can be. It doesn't get reactivated, basically.
I think they do get reactivated. I think in order to learn a language, they need to be exposed to it. I think there is a potential, to maybe acquire it, but we're still discrediting the fact that they have impaired mental function, where they've just been not able to adapt or adopt the behavior and patterns of the culture that they're being acclimated into. It's pretty much just like, hey, here's a wheelchair. You know what I mean? It's like you can't really. You're pretty much stunted.
It came up.
Yeah, so the reason why I
brought
that up, and I'm glad you acknowledged that, because so at this point, based on what we know from the consensus and everything else, the biblical model best explains the beginning of language.
Mm-hmm.
Can you join different channels at the same time? That's probably why his name is in different places, and he's just fucking hearing different rooms at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Because from everything that we've learned at this point, that's the only way.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, so there must have been some divine intervention to gift us the ability to speak with an original language of some sort. Yeah, probably, for sure. I mean, it's also that's really tough, right? Like,
why is that tough?
No, it's because like you have to think about it. Like there must have been one original language where if human civilization really did spur from one area of the world, right? Or this notion that like there was this garden and then humans.
Well, both models believe that humans all came from one area of the world. You've got one model believes that everything comes from the Fertile Crescent, which is in the Middle East, and you have another model which says that everyone evolved from some common ancestor, up in north.
Actually, both things, but from Africa
to the Middle East, because that's the center of genetic diversity. But at one time, it was in South Africa, but they keep inching it a little bit closer. I don't think they're ever going to make that leap, right? As soon as they put it in the Middle East, there's huge implications. Yeah. But go ahead.
No, I think there was most likely an original type of language. If not original, there were several original languages where people were essentially settling into their own
communities. I think what Darth Dawkins is doing is testing the waters. He's going to different channels to see if he can argue with other people. That's his niche.
You can't account for the origin of one original language, and now you're asserting that it's possible that there was a multiple.
I think the multiple languages derived from an original one to some extent, right? Like we need to acknowledge that when people spread out, language evolves, and it also devolves, because if you look at how there are, even and I know this is not a fair example, but like
language evolves in would you say in a sense, right? Not in like a from nothing to something sense.
Yes, not from nothing to something. It evolves from something to something different.
Yeah.
Right. So there most likely was an original language of some sort, where they were able to communicate. Probably not as complex as some languages we have today, right? But like look how colonization in different areas of the world has influenced the same language. Where French in Quebec is not the same thing as French in France, and French in Haiti is absolutely not the same thing.
So in the biblical model, we have the Tower of Babel event where languages are broken up and then people dispersed from there. But how would you explain that from your model?
I think it's just more of an issue of cultural progression, where the more distance you have between original groups.
Well, these languages are grossly different.
I know. I'm not saying.
And even the secular camp, which I think most of us would agree, we might disagree on the exact timeline, but all human writings and languages only go back a few thousand years, which fits very nicely with the biblical model. But from your model,
actually no, the Babylonian we're writing in symbols in stones. Idiot.
Original language. Now you have to have multiple languages, and then you have to have these cultures that break break apart. Like, so from, when America's was settled, right? America's not that old, but we can still communicate with our, British ancestors, right? And even the Old English, we can say, well, that's, just a few hundred years and before that. I mean, we can still read some of the newer Old English. The true Old English gets really hard to read, but so we don't have to make these giant leaps, but to see, based on that timeline, if you can't extrapolate that back, you don't have enough time to explain the diversity of languages. How do you address that?
Oh, you know what?
Sorry, you got me a little bit lost. How do I
Yeah, of
address
course.
what?
You have a diversity of languages, but you don't have
Okay.
a lot of time because it's pretty well established that all human languages and writings only go back a few thousand years.
Fair enough.
So let's say in 500 years we can still comprehend the English language, even though it's different. The vocabulary is different and the pronunciation is different, but we can still explain that after 500 years. Now, if all language only goes back a few thousand years, you've got a pretty big problem, because you've got these languages that are extremely diverse throughout all of the globe, and so now you've lost a lot of time. How are you going to explain all that in just a few thousand years?
I think we can connect all languages essentially to, okay, when we look at Mesopotamia, right, I think we all learned that they use cuneiform, form of writing that is derivative of lines, etc. That essentially evolved into,
Well, you're not saying, and you're saying you think. I mean, we're gonna have to do a little bit better than that, saying, well, some of these languages are recognizable and some of them aren't, but again, you don't have a lot of time. And so from what we've observed and what's been documented, again, all languages only go back a few thousand years, yet you have these drastically different languages all over the globe.
I
How do you
understand that,
explain
right?
that?
For sure. We have to understand that cuneiform was created, I think, 5,000 years ago. So
What was?
A cuneiform.
I'm not familiar with that.
So it's a logosyllabic script that was used to write several languages in the ancient Near East, and I think this was the most earliest type of recorded writing, at least in civilization, right?
But you see, there's no record of progressive, I guess, evolution in languages. You have these drastically different languages, and you have no evidences of one evolving, the term that you used, into another. So just asserting that, well, the languages could have all evolved from a single languages, you have no evidence of that.
He dropped off. I think he was talking about cuneiform. It's like Sumerian text is it's considered the original written language, I believe.
Oh, you Google it, yeah? Fucking wicked.
What's up?
I hope he comes back in, because that, we were attacking him on his ground.
No, you're talking nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know I'm not really sure what his point was. I mean,
right.
And the things like language and stuff, to me, it's like people want to account, dismiss the development of language as we recognize it, but don't want to account for the machine code necessary, like the underlying machine code. It's kind of like,
you're talking about machine code
where
because
did
it's a programmer.
JavaScript come from? Higher level language, right? Let's account for where the development of JavaScript, and from C, and for all the different ones that led up to the ultimate development of JavaScript, and things of that nature. And it's like, so we still have to account for where the original machine code came from that computers use. And you're up here arguing about the development of PHP versus JavaScript, and don't want to account for the underlying root. That's why I was talking about the whole fruit of the poison tree. In my opinion, the vast majority of the atheist talking points are the fruit of the poison tree from a logical perspective, and actually what's being accounted for and what must be accounted for before you even get to those types of arguments. It's kind of like in the evolution debates. The Evos always want to argue about
Evos,
ape to human evolution, and
no, we
when
do
you
not
avoid prokaryote to eukaryote like the plague. So we can't even account for how the single cell went to the multi-cell and prokaryote to eukaryote. Like, we can't even account for that.
Yeah,
And the
just have to
gigantic failure
imagine
between
it.
the two.
and you
But you
account
want to
for
be
your
like,
God
no.
making a
Even
human
though we
out of
can't
mud.
account for
Is
something
that how
that's
you account
theoretically
shit?
way more straightforward
Right?
and simple, you
He
want to be
always
like, oh no,
talking
ape
about
to
the
human,
fringes
no big deal.
of our
It's like,
knowledge.
come on, man.
Okay, but
What are
it's
we even
okay
talking about
for
here?
your God to go like that. I go, there you are, speak, man.
Yeah, that they're making huge leaps. Huge leaps. I mean, they're leaping all the way past the Big Bang and saying that's not required. Well, actually, it is required because the Big Bang creates that magical pond where you have to make your next leap from abiogenesis, where life comes from non-life,
You
out
see, this is
into
the ignorant of this
your
motherfucker.
next leap, which is your
And your
prokaryote,
leap
eukaryote,
is
to your
your
next
God
leap, all the way to that
doing
last
this.
common ancestor.
I'm repeating
Well, that's
myself, but
huge.
fucking hell.
You just want to pick up there?
You're ignorant fuck.
But hey,
I'd
it's
say
all
that's where it starts. Essentially, that's where their line of evidence begins.
And your line of
But even
evidence
then,
is
does it
that
really
your
begin there?
imaginary
Is there
friend
even
God
evidence of that
inseminated
last common,
a
that
virgin.
mystical ancestor in the fossil record? Well, we have some mosaics, some broken things that are unrecognizable that we can put labels
You
on and
ignorant
arrange
fuck.
them in a specific way, and maybe we'll disagree on it, and we'll shuffle them around like a child trying to line up a bunch of shapes and push them in that cube where they fit. I mean, come on. Huge leaps.
Yeah, there is a significant amount of overconfidence that, and this comes back from what Darth and we were talking about earlier in relation to the consensus and the blind acceptance of quote unquote consensus without actually
Oh, look at this,
analyzing
John.
the
Atheists
evidence for
okay.
yourself, let alone considering
Atheists
the
are afraid of
historical
God. Atheists are
precedent
afraid of God.
that
Is that the
says
same room?
dogmatic consensus has a very high
Oh no, I mean that
probability of being
room.
proven
Okay,
to be
fine.
incorrect in the not too distant future.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
mean, I
the more
think it'd be.
dogmatic it is, the more likely it will be to be, debunked and abandoned versus clung to with such, strict dogmatic fanaticism.
Yeah, they're just fervently defend this like it's some definitive truth, But the consensus has a long history of changing. They say, well, we understand that it might change. Well, then why are you demanding that it be accepted as something that's true in an absolute way? If they're going to be, the slightest bit honest, then they'll say, well, we
Slightly
have
bit
reason to
honest.
believe this at this time. But
And
don't
your imaginary friend
demand that
blew,
ridicule me because I reject
blew the
that position.
life into a figurine, a mad
Yeah,
figurine,
it's
right?
like if you won't,
That's your level of
bow and
standard.
scrape to the general consensus, then somehow you must be, suffering from confirmation bias, blind faith, lack
Right.
of critical thinking skills. And it's like, so the reason I don't agree with the consensus is a direct result of my analysis and
Your
application of critical
analysis.
thinking skills. That's why I don't agree with the consensus. But you're claiming that I don't have those abilities when that's literally what
critical
I use
thinking.
to reach my conclusion.
What part of your
Not
critical
blind
thinking
faith, not blind acceptance
are you thinking?
of
You're not.
the general
Seriously.
consensus. But it goes back to the point I was making about the alternative universe, like opposite day, opposite world. Like the atheists are guilty of what they accuse us of doing. It is truly fascinating.
Right.
And sad at the same time. Like, just why would anybody run around publicly proclamating their own ignorance? I just don't. I've never understood that. Like, there is no other scenario in which if I didn't know what
Of course they are fucking dishonest.
Hey,
It's
I
dishonest
have
by design.
no idea if this is true or not. I've never looked into it.
Seriously, they're talking out of their ass without any
I believe it.
hard forget about hard evidence. Any evidence. It's just fucking
And where's the delineation
gullibility.
between the
Read the Bible. Oh yeah, it does happen,
and the conclusion,
and they are saying it as a fact. But
right?
but the scientists that try to find out how far we can go with our knowledge, i.e., hitting the fringes, they are criticizing
just
that.
the implications of it or the conclusion that
That's a pure dishonesty.
You know, we're going to interpret it differently.
Interpret it differently.
Well, you know, that's an unacceptable deal if you don't agree with the author's end conclusion and do your own analysis of the discovery. I mean, sorry, folks. Something I've been contemplating is like, I wonder if, you know, all the studies that have been showing like that humans are getting dumber. I really wonder if
Christians are getting dumber.
Of people reach
not
such
humans.
a state of stupidity that not only are many of them refusing to do analysis of the, for themselves, I really wonder how many of them lack the capacity to do so. And
well, we're looking at one or two, to be quite honest.
Simultaneously, like the others, like refuse to do so, and it's like
that's projection.
And some of that I think stems from their own fear of being on the receiving end of the vitriol and the malicious attacks that they sent hand out. I wonder if they're afraid to receive it. Therefore, if they actually took the time to go and address the arguments that are made by folks like us and look into them for themselves, that they would be faced with an inability to. Your
intellect is based on the Bible, not in scientific knowledge. You just read the fucking chapter that says, "Oh, God made this in 6 days." Okay, it happened.
Yeah, well,
that's the level of your intellect.
There's a saying, and it says that the greatest candle maker would never dream of a light bulb. You know, these new things always do come from a fringe, and maybe you would know who this person I'm going to talk about is. I forget his name, and I believe he was a French scientist, and he's the one who proposed that there are atoms, something at a invisible molecular level that assemble to create all things, and I believe that they said he was looking at a stair banister.
It doesn't matter what somebody says; it's what he or she can prove.
It's inside or outside.
What you are referring to is called hearsay.
These things on a molecular level that make up these things that we do see. And when he proposed that, he was actually ridiculed into seclusion, where he died. He couldn't handle it. And then they come to find out that, oh, that's interesting, that he was actually right. I believe he was a French guy, or he might have been a German, but I think he was a French, if I remember right, he was a French guy that proposed it, and it was a German that discovered it. Von something or other.
Interesting. Well, I think Matt's joined us, and looks like we now have, I think, Perry. I believe you're an atheist, aren't you?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Perry.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Perry, I don't know if my head can handle this right now.
Did you guys have any time I was going to ask you about about what I was talking about the other day, but the topic, I guess, is what are atheists afraid of God?
Yeah, scared to death.
Why would I be afraid of something I don't believe in?
Right.
Well, I think you do believe in God.
Says you.
I think that you just suppress it.
I don't understand what that means.
Well, that's what we've been talking about. You know, there's these obvious things that are clearly been revealed throughout creation, but the implications of acknowledging the Creator would put you in a category where you would have to reject your position, where you deny the God you know.
Okay, so, but John, why should I be afraid of God?
Because you reject him, and you're going to be held accountable.
Right, and what's the consequence
of rejecting God?
Yeah,
that's a juvenile question.
I'm serious. What is the consequence?
Why don't you don't play childish? This isn't your first day. What are the implications of you rejecting God? What happens?
Well, I'm assuming you're talking about hell, but not all Christians believe in the same version of hell.
Well, that's regardless. The Bible teaches it. So that's my
But
position.
No, it says about lake of fire. You ignorant fuck.
What version of hell is not what I asked you?
Lake of fire.
Right, but why you asked me why?
Harry, I'm not going to do this with you. You can answer my clear question. I'm not going to, unless John might want to entertain you, or maybe Matt, but I'm not going to play this game where you avoid a clear.
When did I avoid?
Yeah, absolutely live.
So
correct.
What
absolutely live
was not the question.
No, well, you
right
said,
now it's happening.
Well, I'm not afraid of the one that. Why would I be afraid of one that was just, like where you get annihilated?
So Alpha, greetings.
They still affirm hell. That's the thing.
That's not like that's fine. I think I just am annihilated when
I thought of doing something different to Tom Rabbit, which is poke my nose in, right, and see what they say without me intervening. And nobody as yet has seen my icon.
I was wondering if you even knew what you're bringing up or not.
No, I just want to get on the same
sure.
page.
Yeah, hold on.
If you believe the same,
we're not annihilation. It's something you ever.
I didn't know. Okay, I don't know.
Even annihilation teaches that you're going to be accountable for the things that you've done before you're annihilated.
Yeah, even so mention it. It's like we never mentioned annihilation.
This is when they talk out of the fucking ass without any justification. Well, not justification, without any proof. They just go in, open a book,
right, for eternity.
Choose any of the books.
So did you just answer your own arbitrary question that you asked?
I guess you did.
Is that the claim though?
That's what Jesus taught. Don't fear him who can destroy the body, but fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell.
So I should believe in God, because if I don't, he's going to hurt me.
What do you mean believe in God? Does not believe he exists. The devil believes he exists or knows he exists, and that doesn't save him. So it's not merely I acknowledge God's existence. I guess he's going to send me to heaven. It's by repentance and faith in Jesus Christ.
Do you think is that a just thing to do? Is to torture
I cannot wait. I think somebody
down
in the line is going to notify Darth Dawkins to butt in.
Can we just do one at a time?
Exactly.
Okay, what was your question there? For you think that's the only sin you go to hell for?
Well, I don't know. I'm assuming I'm going to hell no matter what, right? Because
breaking the law of God. That's why we've all done that. And because of who those crimes are against is infinite holiness. That's why hell is eternal.
But you're going because you want to.
He hurts me forever because of...
Well, you don't want to be with him, so he's going to say, well, make that eternal relationship,
yeah.
Eternal separation from him. Be
so
separated from his common grace.
Yeah.
I think we're all separated from him now because we don't see him anywhere.
Pardon? I keep saying, I don't see God. I go, well, the Bible says,
right. What else?
Jesus says, John 4, God is spirit. Paul says he's invisible. He's incorporeal.
Right. Invisible.
Bible also says God's invisible attributes are clearly seen.
Physically,
I don't see him. Where is he? Where is he, Matt? Why should I be afraid of him?
Why is he able to? Where in the Bible does he say his nature is judged by empirical standards? Can you show me a verse that says that?
What?
No, I don't study the Bible.
Okay, so you have an invalid standard to even judge the God of the Bible on. You're saying he's not.
How do you know he's not just?
Bible doesn't put him in that empirical box, Perry. Wake up, man! Smell the coffee.
Okay, so
you know a straw man when you see one.
But why does he want to hurt me? Why doesn't he show me all the evidence so I don't get hurt?
He's been very gracious to you. Your experience is common grace daily, currently, and up until now. You're under his common grace because you're a fallen sinner who deserves to die, and you're not dead.
Yeah, but don't you also believe that it's already decided? Is it already decided ahead of time?
I don't know if you're elect or not, Perry. I don't know if you are.
That's right, Calvinism. I think that everything already is predetermined.
Stop.
I made a video of that. Ooh, still talking.
Come to faith in Christ a year from now, maybe 5 years from now. I do not know.
I don't think
we're not the ones who convert you anyway. It's the Holy Spirit that does. I don't know if you're an object of God's wrath or an object of God's mercy. I know you're a recipient of God's common grace, common mercy, because every man experiences that to some degree. Okay? Now, nor is he unloving because he doesn't save everyone salvifically. He's omnibenevolent because everything in his creation is a recipient of his common grace. Receive good things from his hand. They're the ones who use and abuse them.
Hey, don't drive and talk at the same time with the mobile. He's using a mobile while he's on control of motor vehicle.
Does he already?
That's an offense.
Who's saved ahead of time?
Just saying.
They're not born saved. They come to salvation at a particular point.
He's got to know that he's violating a traffic offense
ahead of time?
Correct. I already said.
What does that mean?
I do not know if you're elect or not. They're born elect or non-elect. They're not
Right.
born
Oh,
saved.
so there's. Hold on. Okay, I'm
Chosen
just
in
trying to
Christ from
suss this
before the
out a little.
foundation of the world.
We have the elect and the non-elect, right?
Yeah, this was
Right.
brought up to you well before. You never researched this in all of our previous conversations, where this was brought up to you ad nauseum, and you're still asking the same questions again.
Oh, maybe you came to a different conclusion. So
no, I've always laid this out to people. It's always the cusp they want to get to. I go, this isn't our first rodeo on this issue either.
Okay,
so
Groundhog's Day. Groundhog's Day.
They forgot they had discussions with Reformed apologists before. You're like,
so listen.
Yeah,
All right.
that Calvinism thing. I wasn't taking notes on it. Can we go over it again? Fine, I'll do it 3 times. But if you're like on the 4th time now, which I know it is because we talked on Discord before.
So all right. So there's the elect and the non-elect, right?
It's the vessels of mercy, the vessels of wrath. That's Romans 9, Ephesians 1.
I'm going to ask you some yes or no questions. Just yes or no.
Sure, hurry up because I got about a minute here. You wrapping up?
Yeah, I gotta go. I'm about to go into Sam's Club too. So
okay, fire them away. Let's do rapid fire.
My cold soda. So there's elect and non-elect, right?
Yeah, yes. Chosen or non-chosen, or recipient of His salvific grace.
So God creates some people that He knows are going to go to hell.
Yeah, but so what's the point of the fucking tree of good and knowledge and evil? What's it exactly? What's the point? What's the point of the beginning?
Yeah, he lives.
Calvinism is the fuck up of religion.
Why does he create someone just to torture them for eternity?
Demonstrate that's exactly what Romans 9 is bringing up. And
why would
contrast those with the vessels of mercy versus the vessels of wrath in order to demonstrate His mercy?
Who does he need to prove it to? Himself?
It's a grand demonstration to all of creation. Yes.
But
that's what the Great White Throne Judgment is going to be.
Actually, you got a point there.
Die, but then we have you
got a point there.
Eternity and Revelation. That's going to be the final state.
Actually, it's the same dog with different color.
Of His wrath, of His justice, of His grace, of His mercy.
So I just want to just put a bow on this. He creates billions of people that He has no intention of ever saving or bringing into His fold. He just creates them ahead of time, and knowing ahead of time, these people are all going to go to hell, where He's going to hurt them forever.
Of course He does. He's omniscient. Of course He does. That's why I challenge my Armenian.
That's the God that you think that we should worship.
Right.
That's a God that you think is worship is worthy of worship.
No, you are forced to worship because you've been chosen.
Romans 9 is going to bring out the potter and clay. Who are you that it's made to say, why'd you make me like this, Will?
He's creating people to hurt, right?
Okay.
Isn't that
for his own will.
Does He send them to hell for no reason?
Huh? What he did, he does. He created them ahead of time. They haven't done anything yet.
What's that?
They haven't done anything yet. He determined ahead of time that He was going to send them to hell.
Yeah, He's passing them over. He's not. He brings them into existence. Right. They are willfully sinning, which they act upon the desires of their own heart.
No, they're doing what He already.
No, in that eternal state.
No. Matt is wrong.
They were already going to. He created them not that they didn't want to do that.
That's
ahead of time.
Right. It's of their will, right?
He's not getting it. Matt is not getting it.
Of God and absolute truth is only necessary. They're going to say, "Oh, I really wanted to repent, but you kept me out."
He's doing what He programmed them to do, or they're doing what He programmed them to do.
No, where you get programmed from the Bible? I just said He is the creator. We didn't create ourselves. We have creaturely volition. That's the realm of moral accountability. He's not sending them to hell for His eternal.
No. He's switching the what Perry's saying is what happened at the beginning. He planned the game before the game was played, and Matt is saying that the players do this, do that. It's different fucking bullshit.
Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
That's irrelevant.
You're not listening at all.
Right. He's not listening. Correct.
The decretive will of God.
All right.
Do you understand those terms? Well, he says, how can we be blamed if He creates us and He knows He's going to send them to hell? He sent them to hell for the breaking of His moral precepts.
John, you're kind of gish-galloping on the conversation right now.
Right.
No, I'm not. That's clear.
No,
I
know you know what gish-galloping is, and that's what you're doing.
That's not. Well, I'm fair now, Romans 9, because if I just say, we'll just go look at Romans 9, I'll be really quick with
Why
that.
do you think what do I care what Romans 9, 10, 11, or anything says?
Oh, but you know what the biblical answer.
He's a man. So Perry's a man.
What?
Perry's a fighter.
Why are we talking if you don't?
He's a man.
All right. Well, I guess
I can just quote a chapter.
I like this guy.
Go read that chapter. That's sufficient for you. Okay.
Perry, you're the man. Perry, you are the man.
I'm talking to you. I'm not talking
more probing questions, and I answer them more thoroughly. You're like, why are you going on so long? I go, because you asked me more probing questions. I thought you wanted a quick answer. Romans 9, vessels of wrath, vessels of mercy. I could just stop right there.
What is that? Okay, time out. What is vessels of wrath, vessels of mercy an answer to? What question did I ask?
He makes from the same lump one vessel for honorable use, another for common use. With God, although willing to demonstrate his wrath and make his power known,
but he did it ahead of time, you stupid fuck. What part of ahead of time your small fucking brain cannot comprehend?
Of mercy, which he prepared beforehand, not only from the Jews only, but also from among the Gentiles. That's Romans 9, 20 through 24, roughly.
Are Jews elect? Are the Jews elect?
That's Paul's whole point in Romans 9. He said they corporately elected them as a nation, as a recipient of the blessings, the priesthood, the sacrifices, and the Messiah came through them. That's the whole point of Romans chapter 9 at the beginning. Then he says, even though they're chosen corporately, not all are saved, because they are not all Israel who are descended from Israel. It went down to the individual level as well regarding election. That's why he brings up, according to God's choice may stand. Not because of works, but because of him who calls. That's directly parallel to Romans 8.
You cannot talk about any Bible, any paragraph in the Bible because it's before time. That's the whole point. Actually, the Bible is irrelevant.
Those whom he foreknew, he also predestined. That's parallel to Ephesians 1. St. Paul writing there too. And the predestined are also called. The called are also justified. The justified are also glorified. That calling there, that calling goes into Romans 9. Never changes definition. It's an effectual call.
Okay, so all you're telling me is what I just told you.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Paul never saw Jesus.
And Calvinists made up. It's derived from the scriptures.
And he spent his almost adult life after the persecution down in prison.
But I'm going to
I think that Calvinists are, at least you have, as awful as I think it is, at least you believe what you believe.
I don't know where it's falling short of standard perfection when you say it's awful. Where you didn't show where it's unjust. You're saying God cannot make.
And the Calvinists are forgetting one thing.
Why would a just God make something that he intends to hurt?
Right.
What do you mean intends to hurt?
John, answer that question.
Are they neutral?
I'm just curious. I want to get another.
He's thinking he's just sending some neutral being to hell.
Neutral being? What is that? What do you mean a neutral being?
That they're not morally bent towards sin and fallen in Adam.
So if you find
you're Pelagian. Well, look, I'm innocent. Why is he sending me to hell? He's not sending innocent people to hell. Wake up.
They're already guilty before they've been born.
Correct.
They're already guilty before they're born.
Correct.
No, they're not. Once again, they commit personal sins. Everyone's found in Adam.
No. Exactly. It doesn't matter.
Of your heart. So do you.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Try and concentrate. Person A is elect.
I've been concentrating. Don't say, look, that's the kiddie tactic. As if I've not been concentrating. I have been focusing more precisely than you have. So when you bring it up, that's just...
You see, we need an analogy. Okay, the analogy is you creating a match, a tennis match, table tennis, golf, whatever, ahead of time and saying who's going to win and who's going to lose.
Okay.
Right?
I guess we're... All right. Hey, have a good day.
Exactly.
All right,
I'll be back later, guys.
Hey, I love you, Matt. Jesus loves you.
I like this guy.
So John or Red, fine. We have person A is elect, person B is non-elect, right?
I don't hold the Reformed position. I understand their position.
Oh, you cherry picking your own fucking religion, yeah?
I'm not a Calvinist, and to be honest, I think that individuals such as yourself who want to argue about the minutia of elect, non-elect, are using that as a escape mechanism to avoid whether or not you're going to agree that a God of any kind exists.
Okay,
and so you're jumping the shark to. Okay. I don't believe in your.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's fine. Bro, if you don't hold the position, I'm not going to.
Perry, stop interrupting, dude. I'm going to put you back down. I already told you I'm not willing to tolerate your just chill out. That's all.
That's fine.
Go have some warm milk and calm your nerves. Okay, calm down.
Yeah, I don't want to argue with you
So anyway,
if that's not your position, then I'm not gonna.
So,
Yeah.
so Perry, you kept asking for me to say something while you were talking with Matt, and now I'm actually addressing you, and you keep over talking me. So
Who's that, John, or is that Redefine? I don't know who's talking.
yeah, it's John.
Okay.
So anyway,
Make it.
You, like many atheists that I observe and I have debated, always want to jump straight to the Christian God while refusing to even accept that there
There's
is
no
any
Christian
God or
God.
any evidence, or it's a rational, plausible
There's no
conclusion
Christian God.
that a higher power of some kind exists. So I'm assuming that you are
When
a
did
strong
your
atheist, not a
Christian
weak
God
atheist.
change
Is that a correct assumption?
from Jewish God to Christian God?
So I mean, I guess it depends on what
Idiot.
God you're talking about.
Correct.
Okay, that's why I asked if you were a strong atheist or a weak atheist. So are you only against the Christian God, or are you against all gods?
Everyone that I've looked at, I guess. I don't know. If you define like a god as just some like a power that created the universe, I guess, I could maybe even believe that. I guess, I don't know. Maybe something. Who knows? Nobody knows. That's the thing. But if you want to say like, is Zeus a real god? Is the proposition that Zeus is true? I would say, yeah. I would say that's false. I'm not agnostic on that.
Okay, and is
Christian God,
Zeus?
I would go at this point in my life. I would say, yeah, I would take the positive claim of, I would say that proposition is false for Christianity.
Okay, so what's the difference between the Zeus and the Christian God?
No, I'm saying they're both.
Lightning, for
No,
example.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
That's your position. I'm saying, what is the fundamental difference between Zeus or Thor or Titan or any of the others and the Christian God? What's one of the key fundamental differences between the two?
That your God does not exist.
No, I mean
it's made up,
recognized philosophical, theological perspective. Like,
yeah, I mean, obviously Christianity is, has much more. There's the tree of the Christian trunk is way bigger than a Zeus. It's like
no,
a
that's
coconut tree, right?
no, that's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking about the religions. I'm asking about the specific entities. What is the fundamental difference between the Christian God or the Abrahamic God?
Abrahamic. You see, when he says Abrahamic God, it's Jewish.
God and
fucked up there.
Zeus or Thor or the Greek and Roman.
You can say, is it Abrahamic God a Christian God?
Most Christians would say that their God is a triune God, and it has different properties and different.
No, we're talking about the fundamental.
Fucking no, gave the answer, Darth Dawkins.
Of the entities. Well, obviously, you haven't thought about this or not grasping the question. So the gods such as Zeus, Thor, all them are they external to the universe, or are they derived from inside?
Does anybody know how can I chat with Perry? Like a private message or something?
I mean, the stories could all be different. That's fine. I can grant that.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, are you recognizing the point that I just made and the key distinction between the two?
Yeah. Key distinction is that you have a different ontology, a backstory than they do. I get that. That's fine.
I wouldn't say it's just backstory. From a philosophical perspective, it's a fundamental difference.
Yeah, I mean, you define it as being external and it created the universe, and that's fine. I get that.
Versus what?
I don't know enough about Zeus or Thor.
No, it's talking about demigods.
So let me get this straight. You have come to the conclusion that you can fundamentally, beyond with all reason, eliminate Zeus, Thor, etc. But per your own admission that you just made, you've never actually.
I don't know how to use Clubhouse. How can I send a message to this guy Perry?
Beyond all doubt that they're false. Is that correct?
Well, the ontology of there is irrelevant. The claim about it is irrelevant. I see no evidence for any of them. And we know that people make up stories.
Right,
so the question is, do I believe that the proposition is true or false?
But you don't even understand what you claim there's no evidence, but you don't even know what evidence you would need to be looking for.
Really?
Well, I don't see any evidence of Thor. Do you?
That's not the question. That's not the point. The point is that per your own Perry, per your own admission, you don't even know what you would be looking for, because you don't even know what the origin, the supposed things you would have to account for Zeus and Thor are, but you've eliminated them. But you claim you've done this, investigation, but per your own
No, I
admission,
haven't.
you don't even know what you'd be
I just
looking
don't
for.
believe it.
Okay, cool. So you've made a faith-based determination without actually investigating. Is that a correct position?
No, I've done enough investigation to where it's been enough to where I don't believe it.
So you don't. What kind of investigation have you done? Because per your own admission,
listen to clowns like you, for example.
You don't even know what the backstory of the people that you have supposedly done enough investigation to eliminate.
I don't know the backstory.
You don't even know their own backstory, but you claim you've done the investigation?
But do I need to leave the chat? Because I don't want to leave the chat.
What investigation you have done?
I don't want to leave the conversation.
As a Catholic, and so I believed in the Christian God, and I always thought from growing up that
that's fine.
College and
you studied mythology. Let me guess, you took one class in college, right?
Yeah, it was awful. I took one class.
Yeah, I took a class on mythology in college as well. But in high school and leading up to, I'd read like the vast majority, like huge portion of the Greek and Roman mythology. But
Catholic high school, and
please,
I remember reading that stuff, and it's just
basically what I need to know is if I can say to him, "You're doing a good job" or something like that whilst he's talking.
You can completely eliminate something in regards to your existence. Is that correct?
Well, if you have any evidence, I'd like to see it.
Right.
That's not what I asked you. I didn't ask about what evidence I can present. I'm asking if it is your position from the worldview that you currently espouse and operate from.
See,
that
shifting the
one
burden.
Class in college is all you need in order to completely eliminate something in relation to the fundamentals of your existence. Is that correct?
Well, I've read a lot of different stuff too, so it's not just one.
Such as?
Oh, I mean, there's lots of books. You could read Joseph Campbell, and there's tons of stuff.
Okay, so you've read tons of stuff, but you still can't tell me what the origin differentiation between the gods of Olympus and the Christian God are. Is that correct?
I don't know offhand.
How do you know it's a Christian God?
And you've read a bunch of books on it.
How do you know it's a Christian God?
Probably over 20 years.
So, okay, your excuse the same as mine.
Yeah, so I don't remember all their origin stories. I don't know what their origin story. Like, there wouldn't be an origin story that I could read that I'd be like, oh well, geez, that must be true then. No story is gonna be good evidence. That's my epistemology. But
that's not my point though. Like, you made the claim, dude. You made the claim that you've investigated
all
this
stuff. No, he did not make any fucking claim.
Where you can just dismiss it all. But per your own admission, you can't even explain what you're supposedly dismissing. And then you couldn't even create the differentiation.
That's cheesy. That's fucking lame.
While claiming to have been raised Catholic, you couldn't even create the differentiation and espouse the differentiation between the fundamentals of the Christian God versus those other gods which you have already eliminated.
That's dishonest.
Do you not see how incredibly juvenile and non-investigatory your supposed journey into understanding of our existence is? It's laughable, man.
Okay, do you think I need to investigate the origin story of Zeus more? Do you think there's something there that we're all missing?
Right.
That's
right.
Okay, again, you are jumping over to
type of the name of the person you want to chat.
Is you take these found positions and you're
type the name of the person you want to chat and select them.
You're making the exact same claim and the same dismissal of the Christian God that you're espousing.
Type the name of the person you want to.
You're aligning with all the other gods which everybody recognizes are not supposed to be accounting for your very existence, right?
So whether
flying over your head, and then you're like, "Oh, should I not dismiss this?" And it's flying over your head. So I'm just going to go out on a limb and guess that you have never actually done any level of investigatory actions into cosmology. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, I'm using the PC version.
I don't know.
So the paper is in the top right. I'm guessing that's the one, right? So paper airplane. Icon on the bottom right.
So you haven't analyzed cosmology. Have you looked into teleology?
Right.
Cosmology?
Right.
Teleology. Have you looked into either one of those?
So okay.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, that's funny. What? There's no evidence of God. What would evidence look like?
Type the pen and paper.
Well, how can you determine?
Type the name of the person.
Or nothing is or is not evidence of God if you don't know.
Right. So if I go Perry, right?
Look like
Perry.
Astounding.
That's the one.
Every single time.
I lock it on.
You know, the biblical world, the God of the Bible, the Christian worldview, it's a worldview. I mean, it's a huge category error to say, you know, Zeus or compared to these other lesser gods, these gods that are within creation. We're not talking about gods that are within creation. It's a worldview. Huge distinction. People don't start with Zeus and reason downwards.
Well, given the fact that
let's see if he gets
Zeus had a creator, it's like, congratulations on dismissing Zeus. Like, what's your point? Should we move up to Kronos? I studied Greek mythology. Really? You don't even know the like the Titans? Like, come on now. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, we've been ranting. Let's see. Who else do we have?
Shit! Right.
Jay is in the.
I just saw that. My bad. My bad.
How are you doing?
So I put asterisk.
Hi,
asterisk B.
there. Oh, he left. Okay.
Asterisk. Sorry. I was typing right.
Jay.
My bad.
I'm from down here in Texas. I was, the topic of the room pretty much attracted me over here. So I'm like, okay, let's see what's going on here. And thank you guys for defending the faith and trying to shed some light.
Defend the faith.
Because this world needs the light for sure. And a couple of points that Perry brought up, and I was like really thinking, should I come up or not? I had a question for him, but now, okay, I'm just gonna throw it out there because, you know, as a part of the topic. He asked a question, if everyone is predestined and all those stuff. My question to him, or any atheist who thinks that way,
join
that,
the stage. Somebody has
made some robots who are, you know, some
asked
are
me
going
to go
heaven,
up.
some are going to hell. Already everything is said, so they cannot accept God. My question
but
to him would be,
John has just pointed me to go up.
At this time and point, based on his knowledge of what God, or let's say he grew up as a Christian, so he knew what Christian God's concept and the judgment and everything else was. Based on all those knowledge, how can he still deny God? He still have a choice. It's not like he doesn't have a choice, or somebody has a gun on his face or on his head and, you know, making him believe and to say that, okay, deny God or something like that. You still have a choice at this time and age, at this
No, you don't
moment,
fucking have a choice if you have predetermined
whether you want to accept the Christ, or whether you
to
want
go
to accept
either
the
to
fact
hell
that there's a
or
God
to
and you have to face
heaven
him one day, or deny him.
You're missing the fucking
Now,
point.
you want to deny him and then turn back and accuse
by the way, how do you
God,
know it's a him?
Hey,
it could
God,
be a she or a transvestite.
You know, the bottom line is, it's his world. He made it. He created it. He gave us the knowledge what's going to happen, what could be the consequence, and we still want to deny it. That's on us.
Well, see, here's the thing. He's made many gross errors just by saying, why does God want to torture me? Because, you know, John 3, everyone's familiar with John 3:16. John 3:17 says, for God did not come to condemn the world, but that the world might be saved through him. And
forget about fucking John.
3:16, for God so loved the world that he sent his begotten son. So, you know, God loves his creation. And again, I don't hold the Reformed position. God loves his creation. He's begging people to, you know, he's warning them of their impending doom. He's going to hold people accountable for their own sins. It's not like God's creating these people to torture them. No, you're going to be accountable for your own sins. God gives you a way out, and he begs you, look, take this way out. But you see, you can't have a world where everyone has free will without law.
As far as I'm aware,
as soon as you implement those laws, then
the so-called God never said that he's male or female.
And if you're going to implement
honest,
those
I don't know.
laws,
I might be wrong.
And you have to have a consequence for those laws, and those laws are going to be against things that are bad, and that's going to be a standard that no one can make. So the only solution for God to because he loves his creation is to give us a way out
he loves his
of
creation.
our impending doom for our mistakes, for our disobedience of that law. And that's the justificatory path that the Christian worldview provides. But if Perry wants to reject that, he says, no, I don't need God, then you are going to be bound by that law, whether you admit it or acknowledge it or not. That's what's happening here. But why would God if Perry makes a decision, or anyone makes a decision to reject God because they hate God so much, why would God then force them and drag them into heaven unwillingly? That doesn't even make sense. So what Perry's saying is, is he opposed to justice altogether? Does he think that we should let people out of jails? Does he think that people should not be held accountable for any crimes? Or does he
Right.
just have this bias towards the God that he knows? Well, I think that's the case.
Great points. Only one question I ask with atheists all the time is like, okay, when they say, okay, why should we follow the God or a creator? I always ask them, do you stop at the stoplight or not? It's your choice. You
Perry should
stop at
have
the
already
stoplight, you follow the rules, everything's good with you. You
hear
miss the
my
point,
text.
you wanna,
Hear my
so you
text.
still have a choice whether
Read
you
my
want to stop or
text.
not. And don't come blaming the cop when he comes and gives you the ticket. It's your choice. You made a choice. There's a law, and that's why we all drive safely. Even in our secular world, we have the laws and regulations and discipline because of which we are all like safe and sound. And you want to live in a world without the laws, without the boundaries? Hey, does your house has a wall?
Yeah, John often makes the point, and I fully agree that when you get outside of these certain conversations and you get back into this, this functioning offline world, people would never hold the positions or say these silly things that they say here in these conversations in order to justify their denial and rejection of the God they know. They just wouldn't do it. Especially when we start talking about morality, when people, reject God's objective moral standards. Well, what does that mean? Well, that puts you in a realm where everything is just either your own opinion or a consensus opinion. Well, if that's the case, then anything can be justified.
Well, already is consensus. It's called fucking voting, you ignorant fuck.
So it just gets worse for them. But again, the implications of them acknowledging these things that we're talking about as true puts them in a realm where they can no longer, rely on their own autonomous reasoning and their
my camera's the battery's gone, so I'm going to change it. Yeah, as soon as it cuts off, I change the battery.
And that the things that they are doing are wrong. In other words, they have to change some things, and they don't want that.
Hold on, I'm changing the battery.
I'm back for a little while. Are you leave as well, or is this still here? It's you in the room.
He's alive!
That's you, Perry.
The batteries. I got one extra more. So... There's so much bullshit we can take in one day, man. Seriously. You guys are fucking... twats. Seriously. Twats. Can't fucking believe it.
I pointed out earlier, don't show biblically how anyone receives injustice. The non-elect receive justice, the non-elect receive mercy. Or the elect receive mercy, the non-elect receive justice. So, and the elect are not deserving of that grace. There's no injustice with God. That's why Paul brings it up right in that very chapter.
Matt.
Yeah, we all agree that there is no one that's good. I was listening to this video response this guy was doing about some subject. I don't remember what it was, but he made some really good and powerful points that all throughout history, when you have these major atrocities and these huge armies, invading another country, that these things aren't carried out by specific individuals. Let's say, like, most people are familiar with Hitler. Okay, so I like to use him as an example. All of those atrocities
he was a Christian
that
bitch.
were carried out, I don't think Hitler really ever killed anyone aside from himself and his wife directly, right?
Really?
Right.
But it's the
Talking about direct
normal,
line.
the normal people, the normal everyday people that you're driving with on the road and road raging, and the people that are in your neighborhood and the people that are shopping with you in the stores. Those are the people that commit these horrible things. Those are the people that make up these big armies that go in and do these awful things. And in fact, I believe it was Japan in World War II. The Japanese, their line of torturing was so horrific that the Germans actually told them that they had to stop. I mean, they were having competitions, cutting people's heads off, and they were making individuals of the families do heinous acts in front of each other, or else they'd be done. It's disgusting, and I'll spare you guys all the visuals, but you can research these things if you want. But the bottom line is it's normal people. We are wicked by nature, and that's just the reality that people can they can try to dismiss it, but factually that's just simply not the case. They did this other interesting study where they had an actor in a room, and they brought normal people in off the street, and they told the normal people, we're going to
What
do
do
a
you mean
test
normal,
in science,
you
and every
retard?
time this person in the room lies,
What the
I
fuck you
want you to
talking
hit
about
a button and
normal?
it's going to electrocute them.
Seriously,
And
normal.
every
What is
time they
normal?
lie, the electrical shock is going to be increased. And the actual test was to see how much an average person would continue to hit that button. And each time they hit that button, the actor in the other room would scream louder. And some of those people off the street, they continued to hit the button and dismiss these horrific cries from the actor in the other room until they believed that the person was dead. Normal people off the street hit that button until they believe that actor is dead. So no, there's no one good. Well, only God. So we're all going to be accountable for our own sins unless we take that justificatory path.
You know what's interesting about about how these ideologies can push average everyday people to do horrific things? It kind of reminds me of the argument that so many people in our culture use to discount things like homosexuality, as an example. Uh, you'll often hear that, oh, well, homosexuality isn't harming anybody. It's just two people that are loving one another. Why can't you, stop being such a bigot and accept them? It's not like they're hurting anyone outside of their relationship or anything like that. And the problem with that mentality is that it's too closed-minded. It's too narrow focused, and it's not looking at the big picture of what that ideology does to a society and to a culture over time when that type of perversion is accepted. And so I think that's one thing. That's one reason why we need to be so adamant about opposing these corrupted ideologies.
I have a false standard. Well, this is only wrong if it harms someone. Never wrong what immoral means. Now, of course, there's harmful consequences to moral rebellion against God, but that's not why it's wrong. It's wrong because we're violating his own character as image bearers. And his creative ordinance is how he set things up. Sure, there's harmful consequences, but the harmful consequences doesn't make it wrong. It's wrong before the harmful consequences are a result.
Why?
You know what I mean?
Alpha.
Yeah,
That's
it's the sin
simple.
is the disobedience
Fucking
of
indoctrination.
God.
Correct.
But the disobedience of God is a law that God has put because God knows his creation and he knows what's best for us.
Really?
And see, and when people say, something that I'll do, and homosexuality or any sexual sin, it's not just homosexuality. It's
Sexual sin.
any sexual sin. See, the problem is people will say, well, why is it that there's these bad things, or they'll call it evil, even though they can't justify that from their worldview to make that assertion. But they'll say, well, why is it that these bad things happen? Well, bad things defined in a biblical text happen when people disobey God. So, evil, these bad
Disobey.
things only can thrive
So
and
he
exist
plans it
in a
ahead of
void
time, and we are
that is
disobeying.
created when people
Listen to what the fuck you
disregard
saying,
God's
you
perfect
ignorant
law.
fuck.
So, for example, God
You are
creates
Calvinist.
sex for people, and he says,
The guy
sex is good.
planned the
But if you do it within these
execution of things
parameters,
before or
now the
ahead of
sin
time.
happens when we disregard that and we
Before
want to have
time.
sex outside of what God has established,
Who gives a fuck
and
about
then
sex?
a void opens up where these other things like child trafficking and rape and these horrible things can happen. These horrible things in a void that is opened
Right.
up when people
Is that simple?
disregard what
Is
God
that
has
precise
established.
simple? Yeah.
Sin begets more sin. Yep.
Isn't
More
it
deviancy, depravity. Yep.
Depravity.
ironic though that people that bring these things up are the very ones who are dismissing what God has established?
You mean
Do you
what
see the
people have
problem
written down as
immediately?
established?
They reject God's moral law, and then they go on to continue to sin, and by doing so, this not that Christians don't fail. That's not my point, okay? But we're at least trying to live under these laws, trying to
Yeah.
do the right thing, okay? And not that the atheists don't
Yeah.
either. But my point is that when people reject God
I
and
think
reject
he's
God's
got a
moral
small
standard,
fucking
they're
bubble.
creating this
Yeah.
void
And there is
where
more
these
to
evil
offer,
things
if
can
you get
take
what I
place.
mean. And he has
Imagine a
not
world where
experienced
everyone, did
the
their
rest,
best
shall we say.
to live by
Right?
these moral laws that God has established.
I think he needs a pole in his house. Yeah.
It's kind of like what we were talking about when this room first opened up, how you have these people that are, anti-theist. They say all religion should be eradicated. Oh my gosh. Can you
It should
imagine?
be.
Can you
Why not?
imagine a world where no one felt that they had to be, accountable for anything that they did?
No, that's wrong. That's
And
a
we
wrong
can just do
concept.
whatever
We
we
are
define
accountable.
as good. That would be a scary place.
That would be absolute chaos.
Ignorant fuck.
That would be a nightmare.
It's called democracy, you piece of shit. A concept that you cannot fucking redefine. You cannot redefine the concept of fucking.
At least
for fuck's sake.
by the biblical worldview, right? In where we could just define good as something that is beneficial to me or my family. My family is bigger than yours, so it would make me a superior organism and remove your family and take the things that you have acquired for the better good of my family. How would that be wrong without the biblical context defining the word good and bad? What do you have then?
What do you have? Democracy.
It's a gross inconsistency on their part.
If you do something wrong inside of our worldview, we're going to penalize you somehow. But on your worldview is God. So basically, you mean that you should not be accountable.
If anyone down there would like to come up and answer
fuck
that
you.
question,
You're a waste of time.
I'd be happy to.
We're just happy here laughing at your fucking stupidity.
Without the biblical context, how do you define the word good? That's my question.
Oh, I got the answer, but I'm not going to fucking tell you. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 idiots, 5 religious guys.
That's a tough question.
That's not. Piece of cake question. Okay. I understand. I did not know that.
By the way, while you're in here, I just wanted to mention, Matt, your picture always cracks me up.
Yeah, that's fine. So basically, what I'm hearing, me personally, I'm reacting, is that the chat or the Clubhouse chat, you are receiving it 1 minute later. So I have to literally respond a minute behind of it to make sense of it. Right.
All right, I gotta bounce. I'll be back later.
Yeah, bounce away.
Take care, man.
I don't know if I can do it in OBS. I'm using OBS Studio, and I think, I'm not sure, that I can actually delay my transmission, whereby my audio can sync with the delay. I don't know. But you shouldn't, should you? Because you are, unless you are listening to the live chat. Because if you only listen to my one, I might be talking out of my ass, but if you listen to only my broadcast, it should be in tandem at the same time. They ran out. They ran out of juice. No wonder, seriously, no wonder. They are. It's like talking to a brick wall, right? They got a set value, and they cannot move. Right? So I don't know. Or 2,100 hours here in the UK. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Your chat is okay. Okay. But they're not talking now. They're actually almost like going away now. Man, Darth Dawkins cannot come into the chat because if he cannot fight with somebody, he goes away. Oh yeah, right. They're out of escape. Sure. You know what? I'm actually tempted to go in, but I don't want them to recognize what I'm doing, if you get what I mean. Although it will probably, somebody will say that to them sooner or later, and then I'll probably get blocked, right? But I don't know. Yeah. They're going. They're going. Oh shit. That's how much quality that they can put into a conversation, right? They go narrow-minded into the Bible, say 4 or 5 things. Paul said this, John said that, and happy days. That's how you fucking run out of a conversation. You haven't got your an open mind to things. You just, oh, for fuck's sake. Where? You mean I like talking to them, or should hang out into the audience? Where's that? I am also new at this. Oh, look at that. The other one is gone. They're going. They are going. They are going. I think I have to fucking leave as well. They are going. Going fast. Atheists are talking about fucking clickbaiting, eh? Oh, decline. Oh, decline. Yeah, fuck it, decline. You're not worthy of intelligence. Seriously. Oh shit. Listen, I don't know. I think I should leave it here, yeah, because otherwise it's not fun. The whole idea for me to do this is to hear their bullshit, basically, right? And that's it. I did it for entertainment value only. I mean, obviously, we're not gonna come here to learn something from them. Well, which one? Whose avatar? They're gone, man. They're gone. Right. They're gone. They're gone. Oh, he closed the room. He closed the room. Right, he closed the room. Yeah. I saw the dog thingy. There you are. Right, what time is it? Right. Quarter past 9 UK time. Might just, yeah. I can, let's do this for just 10 more minutes, yeah? Just if you want, which one should I do? Which one? Listen, Tom Log was on 8 rooms. If you look at my stream, at the beginning of my stream, right, he was in 8. Never mind 3, 8. 8. I did it in purpose. I scrolled down, right, and the idiot was in 8 rooms, minimum 8 rooms. And Darth Dawkins was in about 10. I think these people, what they do is they just open. I mean, join. They're running out of air. That's yeah. But the whole point, I understand what you're saying. But the whole point is that they have 10 rooms open to see. It's like fishing with 10 rods, right? See which one it hits, and when they see somebody coming in, they just jump in and hop between one. Yo, Darth Dawkins here, Darth Dawkins with Haiti there. Yeah, and he's still a virgin. Right. Actually, that's a funny slogan. Fishing for weak atheists. Right. Okay. Look, there you are. He's gone there. Shall we try there? But 5 minutes, yeah. Just to poke my nose. Okay. Oh, I can only listen. What's the point? What's the difference between join and listen? What? Am I jumping? Yeah. Tone log. These two. Let's see if the idiot is here. And here, Matt Jester, the free. Oh, they're not here. They're not here. Okay. Yeah, I want to leave. See you later. Oh, listen is because it's been pre-recorded, right? That's what I'm getting. So I have to look at the ones to join. These are pre-recorded. Go up from the top. Join. No, but I wanted to join a live one. Just to hear for 5 minutes the bullshit. I join. Yeah, join is a live. Right. Yeah. I got that. Yeah. Right. So yeah, this is the second time I've opened this thing. The first time I was trying to figure out what the fuck Clubhouse was. And today is the second time I'm actually digging into it. Can I filter only? But it would be nice to filter only join rooms instead of going for the filter ones. Join. Nah. I think they're gone. No, I think they're gone. Yeah, they're gone. That's the beginning again. They're gone. No, they're gone. Yeah, got to go. Listen, I will go as well. Cyphers, thank you for joining. Alpha as well. So, correct. I don't either. So we're going to terminate it here. And thank you for joining. Thank you for this entertainment. Thank you for the chats. Again, this is the very first time I put a chat as well. Yeah. So thank you and see you later until the next time. Yeah. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.